Hey, what's up, people? Welcome back to the Career Pact podcast. My name is Neil Patel. I'm the host of this podcast. And on this pod, I combine creativity and impact and hope to give a little bit more than I can get. For those of you who are new, welcome. We're doing a daily podcast every day for a year straight. We are on day number 135. Okay, today I want to talk about originality and originality, as in the things that we create, things that are true to us, our purest form. And then I mentioned yesterday that I was waiting for a book called Steal Like an Artist by Austin Kleon. And guess what? As soon as I ended yesterday's podcast, literally not even 10 seconds later, my dad walked in with the Amazon package. I opened up the package, and it was the book that I was waiting for. I read the chapter, I read it a couple times, and I want to share some of the takeaways from that one chapter and talk about it because the first chapter, just the first chapter of this book has kind of been like frame breaking. I have the book Steal Like an Artist right here. And I'm just kind of go through some of the interesting things that I took away from it and kind of just talk about it a little bit because this idea that nothing is original, I think it's pretty cool. So let's dive into it. A lot of these podcasts that I do, by the way, these daily podcasts, I've talked about it a ton. Figuring out a new idea every day is kind of tough, right? So a lot of these episodes that I do, it's something that inspires me, whether it's a tweet, whether it's a phrase, whether it's something like I said I get from a book, something that's worth stealing in a way where I could talk about it, add my own stories to it, and just make it into an episode, right? Because every single day I'm not going to have something. So this is super interesting, steal like an artist. And it's something that I want to learn about. The first one is finding something that is worth stealing, right? No matter what, whatever it is that we're doing in whatever creative field, it doesn't matter how long it takes to find something that we can actually use as inspiration, as motivation, and then using that in our own way. And kind of this idea of there is no what's good and what's bad. There are only things that are worth stealing and not worth stealing. And that's such an interesting way to think about it, right? It's like all our life we want to create something of our own and something that's ours, and we want the credit for it, right? So just thinking about it in a way where it's like there is nothing that's completely original. And this book says all ideas are just a mashup or a remix of one or more previous ideas. And when I think about it like that, I'm kind of like, dang, that is so true. Everything I talk about is from ideas, things, and beliefs that people have that resonate with me, and I share those. So all of these, they aren't original. They're things that have been talked about before me, that these have came before me, and I resonate with them and I talk about it. So all creative work builds on what came beforehand. And we can take this in two manners, right? We can take this in a negative way by getting defensive and being like, no, I found this idea. I had this idea first. I should get credit for it. Or we can just accept the fact that others did do things before us that we found inspiration from. And again, every podcast dang near is inspired from someone else's idea, something someone else said. And that's how a lot of these episodes really come into fruition. I see something, I hear something, I read it, and it's just like, ooh, that hits deep. Why does that hit so deep? And then I just put my headphones on and boom, I'm just typing. I'm just typing. And I write down kind of everything that's kind of attached in my brain to that thought or phrase or whatever I read. And then I kind of attach a little bit of my own story to it. Nothing is completely original. All ideas are just a mashup or remix of one or more previous ideas. The second thing that I learned in this chapter is you are only going to be as good as the things we surround ourselves with. And Austin Kleon talks about how his mom would always tell him, garbage in, garbage out. And that's a reference to whatever ideas we get put into our head, the people we're around, whatever influences that we have, our friends, our peers, the people we work with. the content we consume on a daily basis, all of that goes into account. And if you're putting garbage into your brain, you're going to be getting garbage out in terms of your output. It's the same thing with your body, right? If you eat like shit, you're going to look like shit. And honestly, I've ate like shit, and part of that reason is why I kind of look like shit right now. And I'm working to not eat like shit anymore. So if my input is I don't eat like shit, my output is I will lose weight and I'll look better. So all of those things go into account. That was the second idea. You're only as good as the things you are only as good as the things you surround yourself with. I'm grateful that I'm thoughtful about the people that I interact with, that I let into my life, that I let into my situations, and I'm just grateful for it because again, you're only as good as the five. What's that saying? You're the average of the five people you surround yourself with. You are the sum of your influences. We are shaped and fashioned by what we love. Was said by a German writer Goethe, Goethe. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. Where is that quote? Your job is to collect good ideas. The more good ideas you collect, the more you can choose from to be influenced by. And then he threw in a quote from Jim Jarmusch, which says, steal from anywhere that resonates with your inspiration or fuels your imagination. Devour old films, music, books, paintings, photographs, poems, dreams, random conversations, architecture, bridges, street signs, trees, clouds, bodies of water, light, and shadows. Select only things to steal from that speak directly to your soul. If you do this, your work and theft will be authentic. Now, isn't that so interesting? If you do this, your work and theft will be authentic. And that's like so contradictory when you hear it like on the surface level. But if you really think about it, that is where some of the best ideas, originate. And, you know, nothing is original. It's always from some sort of inspiration. It's from seeing something. It's from books, paintings, seeing pictures, seeing seeing and hearing certain experiences from your family members and your friends. The last thing that I really resonated with is something that I obsess over. He talks about chewing on one thinker. In the book, he talks about Marcel Duchamp said, I don't believe in art, I believe in artists. And he said this is actually a pretty good method for studying. If you try to devour the history of all your discipline at once, you'll choke. Instead, chew on one thinker, writer, artist, activist, role model, someone that you really love. Study everything there is to know about that thinker. Then find three people that thinker loved and find out everything about them. Repeat this as many times as you can. Climb up the tree as far as you can go. Once you build your tree, it's time to start your own branch. I would much rather study people, right? I feel like some of the most successful people in the world, they aren't someone who necessarily knows everything. They aren't someone who is, incredibly genius, right? But it's just rather people who study people, their mannerisms, their habits, the way they talk, the way they, carry themselves, their character traits. And when you study people, also their beliefs, right? The way they think about money or relationships, spirituality, emotional intelligence, how to handle certain situations. When you study people and when you study them obsessively, not only do you know obviously everything about the person and how they operate, but it also lets you take away the key tidbits that you want from that person and apply that into your own life. Any good thing that I've learned or any good thing that I've applied into my life, I feel like it's come from studying people and their beliefs. And it's good to question them, like questioning everything, questioning why that belief is true. Is it really true for me? Do I resonate with it at a very, very deep level? And if I can find a good answer to it, right? If I can find a childhood memory that I can attach to it, or if my childhood was similar to theirs, or some of the things that they went through, some of the emotional trauma or things that they dealt with mentally that shaped them into the person they are today. If I dealt with some of the same things they did, then that's a good reason for me to value that belief and incorporate some some sort of that like thinking into my life. Overall, first chapter, incredible, incredible. And I'm going to continue to, I feel like, make episodes about this book. The entire mantra of this episode is that nothing is original. Everything comes from something else. An inspiration, a book, anything. A TV show, a movie, people talking, TED Talk, something. It's a good way to let our guard down, kind of take care of our ego, and let ourselves know that this thing that I'm probably creating, although it is mine, although it is my way of creating that thing, it's not it's not that original, right? And he said, I guess there's, man, where to go? What page was this on? Oh, here we go. He talks about the writer Jonathan Lethem has said that when people call something original, 9 out of 10 times they just don't know the references or the original sources involved. Again, super frame breaking, and just lets you know that nothing's original. It comes from something else at all times. So again, there's my grandma in the background, always hovering, doing something. All right, y'all. That's all I have for you guys today. If you guys enjoyed this episode, again, sorry if it was a little bit jumbled. I'm still kind of processing it. I'll probably reread this 1 or 2 more times just to really have it set all into my brain, slowly apply it. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. So I appreciate y'all for listening. If you made it this far, you're amazing. Got to do a couple things. Follow this pod wherever you're listening, share it with a friend, and give me a rating 4 or 5 star, 3 star, 1 star, 2 star. I don't care. I appreciate you guys. Thank you all so much for listening. Take care. Tell someone that you love them and go do something nice for someone today because they genuinely, from the bottom of their heart, from the bottom of your heart, you think they deserve it. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace. Have a great day. Love you. Oh my God. These outros, these shits are so bad. All right. Later. Peace. 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 Peace.